Hi everyone, my name is Julie. This is Keep Calm with Books and Coffee. I talk about books on this channel, mainly books about magic, and today we are going to be doing a wrap-up of May. Hello everyone. So this is going to be a pretty casual wrap-up in comparison to what we've been doing lately. I don't have updates on my challenges that I read. I don't have graphics for my books. I hit such a slump in April and May as far as my reading, my content, my motivations, and I wasn't keeping very good track of things. So what I'm hoping to do is kind of reset in June and keep track. Like, I have to go back to updating my reading spreadsheet. That's not updated. And then maybe getting some graphics and such ready for mid-year. But this month, we're going to do just a quick little wrap up for May where I talk about the books that I read and kind of go through everything. So actually in May, I was trying so hard to get through this month and get through the slump and fix the slump that I decided to just spend the month rereading as much as possible. So I have a lot of rereads to talk about, which usually ends up meaning I don't have quite as much to say, and a lot of these are middle series. So we're going to jump in, talk about what we can, and it's probably going to be pretty quick this month. So the first book I read this month was Chaos Choreography, which is one of the few books that wasn't a reread this month. And this is by Shauna McGuire. It is the 5th book in the Encrypted series. And we're going back to Verity in this book. She was our narrator for the first 2 books. Then we follow her brother in the second 2 books. And then we go back to Verity for one more. And honestly, I really liked going back to her point of view. So in this series, we are following a family of cryptozoologists. They are interested in the conservation and also the protection of cryptids, depending on if they are sentient, like if they're more human-like or if they're more animal-like. They are trying to protect cryptids, and there is a organization that is trying to kill cryptids no matter what they do. It's a very interesting series and I love following this family. Verity was, out of our 2 narrators, Verity has been my second favorite so far. I liked Alex a lot and Verity just so. She's been fun, but going back to her point of view was really interesting because I felt like she grew and changed a lot from book 2 to this book, and I don't think it's been that much time for her, but she's been through a lot of things. She's made a lot of changes in her life, and she just feels much more mature as a voice and as a character in this book. And I can't go into the details of the story too much because it kind of reveals a lot of what's going on in book 1 and 2, but just know that this was a step up as far as a Verity book for me, and I did have a good time. I have to lower my expectations a little bit for the endings of these books because a lot of times we get to the end and the book is over. Like, it feels like a very quick wrap. I think that's just the way this series works. It's not necessarily a bad thing. I'm just always expecting it to kind of settle a little bit more at the end, and instead we wrap up the mystery, we wrap up what's going on with the cryptids, and the book is over. So I need to just change my expectations, but it is affecting my enjoyment just a little bit because I just feel like it's like so quick at the end. But especially because the beginning, like the first half of these books is pretty slow. There's a lot of setup, and then we usually hit the 50% mark and we hit the ground running at that point. Like, it's just such a very sharp increase in how quick the story is going. It's fun. It's not unexpected with like an urban fantasy or a Shauna McGuire book. Like, I'm used to that sort of setup, but the drop off at the end just always catches me by surprise for some reason. Then I started rereading installments in the Kate Daniels series, and I've basically had one of these on the go constantly since I started Magic Slays a few weeks ago. So this is the story of Kate, who is a mercenary at the beginning of the series, and at the start, she's a mercenary who is working on her own. She is taking jobs and just surviving and trying to fly under the radar because Kate has some special magic that she wants to keep under wraps. But when her guardian is killed in a very violent manner, she decides to try to help out with the investigation and gets involved with one of the factions in this futuristic, dystopian, fantastical Atlanta. Like, Kate jumps into the politics side of things, and that is not her forte at first, but she grows and changes so much over the course of this series. I love this series dearly. In this world, we have magic waves that come and go, where the magic works one wave, and then when the magic recedes, technology works. It's a very interesting world. It has a lot of different mythologies and gods and things wrapped up in it, and I love it so much. And I read Magic Slays, Magic Rises, and Magic Breaks this month, and I just had a great time. So Magic Rises has never been my favorite installment in the series, but I was listening to the graphic audios of these and for the first time, and I really enjoy the graphic audios because I just find them fun. But Magic Rises really improved with the graphic audio for me. I think it's something about how I was interpreting the tone of some of the conversations we were having versus what the actors did in this. So that was very interesting for me. And I didn't realize how much I loved this book until I was reading it and listening to it, and I really got wrapped up in it. I changed my rating actually from 4 to 5 stars for this book because I think Magic Slays has been a 5-star, Magic Rises has always been a 4-star, and this has always been a 4-star, but upon reread this time, this turned into a 5-star read. I just forgot how much I enjoyed it until I reread it. So it's been a little bit, and I was really happy to make a lot of progress in rereading this series. I'd really like to finish it this year so that I can go on to the novellas that follow up this series. So I am almost there. I think I have 3 more books until the finale. I also reread Wind Witch by Susan Dennard this month, which is the second book in the Witchland series. In this series, we're following, I would say, our most important 2 characters at the beginning are Safi and Iseult. They are thread sisters who are living in a city in this world and just trying to stay below the radar because Safi has some very unique magic. I feel like I just talked about this with the Kate Daniels series, but Safi is a truth witch. She is someone who can detect truth from lie, and she doesn't want this witchery known because people would want to use her to their advantage. It's a very rare gift. And Iseult is a thread witch where she can see the threads that bind people, and the 2 of them start off this series, and through the course of the first book, Safi's magic is revealed, and that is what kicks off the series. Like, she is forced to make decisions about what is going to happen with her life, if she's going to run or stay, and we jump in from there. This was a reread for me. I really enjoyed it. I'm going to keep it at a 4-star rating, but really excited to continue on with Sight Witch, which is a novella for this series, and then jumping into the rest of the installments because I have 3 more to go before the fall when the finale comes out. Then the last book I have to talk about this month is Witchful Thinking by Celestine Martin, which is another reread for me. I read this a few years ago, and truly this is such a fall vibes book, but I really enjoyed reading it right now in May. It's set at the seashore, like it's set at a seashore town, I believe in New Jersey, and it gives you summer vibes even though it also gives you fall vibes. So I think it's set in the summer, so maybe it's true, but the witchiness of it gives me fall vibes. Anyway, in this we are following Lucy, who lives in a town where magic is sort of an open secret, and she has been wishing that she has done more in her life so that when she reports to the class reunion that she's, coming up on, that she would have more to say in that newsletter. So one night when she's with her cousins and her sisters, she decides to write out everything that she wishes she had done in order to, the things she wishes she could report to this newsletter. So then they cast a wishing spell, and it sort of compels Lucy to do all of these things, and she accidentally sends that email draft to the reunion newsletter, so she has to kind of live up to these expectations she's sent in. And then she meets Alex, who is a high school friend who possibly could have been more before he left town, and has been traveling the world and kind of doing all these things that Lucy wishes she had been doing. The 2 of them reconnect, and the story goes from there. This story is full of so much heart and character development and communication between the characters, even when the characters aren't communicating with each other so well. I like that the characters sort of have a lot of self-reflection throughout this book, and it's a really fun read. I don't reread romance very often because you know how things work out, but it has been a couple of years since I read this, and I'd like to continue this series. And I had kind of forgotten what had happened with the background characters because, you know, we're going to follow them in subsequent books, and this was a delight to reread. I really, really had fun going through this again and just enjoying the vibes of it. It feels very practical magic and a little bit Halloween Town at the same time. Like, it just has this sort of light magical touch to it that is very, very fun, and I enjoyed it a lot. So that is everything that I read in the month of May. Like I said, I reread a lot of things, and also I was reading a lot of series so I could smush things together, and so it's going to be a short wrap up this month. If you have any thoughts or feelings or want to share anything about the books that I talked about today, please let me know down below. You can also like and subscribe while you're there. Those really help me out. And if you're not feeling chatty, you can just leave me a moon emoji for wishful thinking. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you next time. Bye!